Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Zelda II, The Adventure of Link. Last time we've actually started playing the game, because in the first part we studied the kanji of the title. We left the North Palace, went around the Overworld slightly, got a bag of experience points that way. And last but not least, we arrived at Rauru. We went around the town. It took us a while since there was, of course, all the dialogue of the NPCs. And yeah, so today we'll leave Rauru and yeah, most likely today we'll mostly play. We have going from there, following the tips we heard last time in Rauru. And yeah, so without further ado, let's start. Okay, yeah, here's the game. Title screen. And yeah, here we have our save file, but actually we have to load the save state. And yeah, as I don't think we saved. And yeah, I actually already exited the town last time. And yeah, so now we have to go. Okay. Yeah, we want to go here. It's the tunnel, Tonneru in Japanese, as we have seen during this very series. And yeah, there was a hidden enemy, but yeah, I will actually keep it. Didn't lose much health. I knew it was there, but I didn't. Still didn't expect it to be immediately down there. Yeah, by going through the tunnel, we are now on this side. This is the Parapa Desert, and yeah, you can already see the temple, shrine, sanctuary, however you want to call it. Oh boy. Yeah, that's actually not deal with. Yeah. Between the two, rather go here, so yeah, that we can actually leave. Yeah, first we want to go actually south here. And yeah, actually there's this section with these bubbles. Funny enough, I think it was exactly this one. And I played it before in the NES Championship game. So yeah, I actually know it. Yeah, we wanted to do that to then get here. We have we should have an enemy, but yeah, on the right, I think instead. Yeah, we have an enemy, but yeah, we have the famous heart container that I mentioned. Oh boy. Yeah, I have to be way more careful. Yeah, we have a gorilla, as you might remember from the first Legend of Zelda. Yeah, difficult to protect myself from the hits at the bottom. You have to crouch to do so. But yeah, we have the earth container, and yeah, we healed like that. And yeah, that's also why I knew about this one, so that's why I wanted to go for the attack first, even though the guide mentioned that I'm checking mostly for the map, but if needed also for yeah, we have to go backwards here. And yeah, you have to be really careful there because, well, I'll show it. Yeah, it's an instant death if you fall. But yeah, let's be more careful this time. I'm used to going from the left to the right in this very section because of NES Championship, but yeah, we did it this time. Yeah, so actually with that, as soon as I can leave here, actually okay, no, let's not go to the right. There was clearly we got hit there. But yeah, with that we actually can already go to the temple. I'm pretty sure as soon as we get rid of avoid this nonsense. I took a hit there, but one doesn't matter. Maybe it will, but yeah, we can get to the Parapa Palace in English, but again, as mentioned, it's temple, shrine, sanctuary, however you want to call it in Japanese. And yeah, we have so our first dungeon. Let me take out the map of it. Okay. And yeah, you might recognize this music. Well, it's from this game, but funny enough, the first time I heard it, it was in Smash Bros. Melee as a kid. Yeah, you might have heard it in Smash in general. So we can actually... These enemies, it's better if we deal with them. Mostly. Yeah, to get some experience, which is nice. But also for them to not get in the way. Yeah, I knew about this one, but it still got me, so yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we wanted to come here first for a key, as you can see. Let's continue. Now we have to go back. Wow. Yeah, sorry about the rewinding, but yeah, we don't want to find us in a tight spot later. And yeah, again, as I mentioned before, we don't have time to for trial and error that way, and especially in this game, considering that if you get a game over, you are sent back to the start, and no, the show must go on. We have all those writings to check. Yeah, now we have to go. I mean, the enemy can go through the door like that. Yeah, we have this door, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we have to continue here for now. Boy, wanted to check. These enemies don't seem to give experience, unfortunately. They're just an obstacle. Yeah, we have, by the way, the shield spell, but we'll keep it for later. I don't know how much that it consumes in terms of the bar. Don't remember that. But yeah, after doing that... Okay, we have to, well, for now, of course, proceed to the right. There isn't anything else. But I was checking because, as you will see soon enough, there's an elevator which we don't want to take immediately. Yeah, no, because that one is for later. It's not our... Okay, yeah, we got actually another level up. Yeah, this time I'll actually take a life. that actually got some magic there. Okay, yeah, we have also this elevator here, which we ride in a second. Yeah, we have a ferry here. Not easy to touch it because, yeah, you have to jump. I'm not completely sure if it will show if it will show up again if we get it now. So yeah, I rewinded. Yeah, the jump is pretty tight, and as I know also because again of NES Championship, there's a challenge about that as well. Yeah, at the bottom we won't go down for now because that's actually the end, as we see soon up. Yeah. First up. Okay. Enemies. Yeah, we also have those. Yeah, we wanted to come here for that key. I don't remember what's to the right here. Well, I can see it on the map, but I'm not sure what is actually... Ah, okay, yes, we have also this enemy here. I do remember it from, again, NES Championship more recently. Actually, if you hit the statue, you get also that. Yeah, fortunately we have low health. We could technically already use... Well, let's not get that hit like that. We could use the ferry right now, but at the same time I would like to keep it for the boss. And by the way, as tempted as I am to get some attack, we might go for life once more. Yeah, let's actually get the ferry right now, and then simply try to be careful, or we use rewind if we take too many hits. But yeah, from here we have to go back. Because again, down here we have the continuation. Yeah, luckily enough, this is a simple palace. Later ones won't be this easy. And there the map will really help. But yeah, we have to take finally this elevator here. And no, this statue doesn't give anything. Yeah, we have to go to the left. I think I've seen mentioned that you can defeat these enemies, but I'm not sure if that's actually the case, or I'm simply... well, you can hit them and stop like that, but I have doubts actually that it's doing anything, so yeah, let's actually go back and simply try to avoid them. Or maybe they require a lot of hits, I don't know for sure. Oh boy, yeah, this crazy one there. Yeah, keeping the ferry for later would have been wiser. But at the same time, I didn't want to keep the beeping for that long. Okay, I have a bridge that collapses here. That experience pack, but not in the best spot. Yeah, let's go for life still for now. We'll eventually need also magic, but hopefully we'll be able to. We'll be fine. Okay, that wasn't the best, but let's keep it for now. Yeah, we wanted to come down here, and actually there's another one of these, so let's be careful. Okay, perfect. Yeah, getting in actually is the most difficult part, because after that it's easy to defeat them. If actually heal there. Yeah, we have this enemy. Quite an annoying one. Yeah, let's go back and be more careful. Ah, turning to the right there. A mistake. Oh boy, yeah, have to be really careful. And yeah, this is also why I actually would like to get more attack as soon as possible. Okay, yeah, we managed to defeat that. Again, we would have technically the shield spell, but I'm keeping it for the boss. And I'm not sure how much it would consume of our bar there. But yeah, by coming here, opening the door with one of the keys, we have an item. The candle, as mentioned, Rosoku in Japanese. And yeah, actually, with that term in this game, as we have seen. The accent was on the so, if I recall correctly, from last time. We have seen it again, but yeah, you can also check the previous episode. Okay, yeah, lucky enough the bridge is back, of course, yeah. Otherwise it would be impossible. Okay. Okay. This... Okay, jump down here. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, now we have to go through this nonsense again. Yeah, the crazy one, I had no doubt it would get us actually twice there, but oh well. Let's hope we'll be fine. It would be great if the fairy came back. We'll see in a second. I don't know. If I've seen it before, I don't remember it. Yeah, no, actually the fairy is gone, so yeah. Not the best choice, but yeah, didn't want to keep the low health sound for all that way. Yeah, now we should be able to go down here. Yeah, we have another one of these, unfortunately. Let's be careful. Okay, actually, I'm tempted now to use... I have to be careful about these. Okay, we defeated that. We should be close to the boss. Yeah, we have some Stalfos here. Not sure if still called like that in this game. Guess would be yes. Okay, let's actually avoid these. Okay, now open the door, defeat this enemy. Okay, let's do it like this. Too bad there. Yeah, sorry, but I want to keep my health for now again. We have the boss coming. And yeah. We don't want to restart just because of that. The boss, which should be actually close enough. Unfortunately, we have still one of these. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we have some experience, and actually with that we level up. If I get life, maybe I could... I'm tempted by attack, but yeah, life honestly is still the wisest one for now. I'm worried that maybe I'm leveling it up too much for too quickly. Yeah, don't want to risk since we have the boss right here. Should be, yeah, there it is. Let's actually use the shield. Actually, how do we? Yeah, we have. Don't remember how. We might not have enough magic, maybe. Or maybe we have already used it and I didn't realize. Let me check. No, actually the magic didn't go up, so yeah. Oh well, we'll try to do it without that. Yeah, we have the boss's health to the left. Unfortunately, we are taking too much damage. And yeah, this is horse head in English, I don't know in Japanese. And yeah, you have to be careful about its attacks, but yeah, you have to jump to hit the head, as it's the only part without armor. Okay, yeah, we're close. Yeah, we have to do 2 damage without taking hits, which I actually did before this, so yeah, we simply have to be more careful here. Yeah, please attack. Okay, like this, like that. Okay, oops, sorry. I actually did it. And yeah, we got a key to open this. Yeah, so we actually have this. And yeah, we returned the... I don't remember the exact term, we have seen it last time in the story, but yeah, we returned that gem. And yeah, it's one of the... what we have to do for... to finish the game. Put all those gems back to... wake up to wake Zelda from her slumber. And yeah, let's actually go for... I'm curious about magic for the shield. Let's actually try that one at least once. And after that I'll go back to attack. Actually, I didn't remember this. Okay, yeah. Okay, we can go. Didn't look like it for a moment. But yeah, actually, as you can see, the icon disappeared there. Okay, let's actually move here. Let's pause a second. And yeah, so I can actually open that way. Okay. Let me see if it's loading without causing issues. Let me quickly check. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay, now we should be fine. Sorry, but I was afraid that we wouldn't. We'd have issues because of a warning in OBS. But yeah, now we want to go back. And yeah, as you can see now, that this cave that used to be dark is now lit. Because we got the candle in the Parapa palace, temple. And yeah, it's automatically used, so you don't have to use it like in the first Zelda. Okay, I wouldn't mind defeating enemies here, but actually I think the moblins keep on coming, so yeah, we only want to defeat the spiders if possible for some experience. And unfortunately I already got the hit there. Got hit. Yeah, let's leave actually. Okay, yeah, first I've seen that we have a cave down there, as we'll see soon enough. But yeah, first we have to deal with these. Yeah, these are quite easy. Okay, enough. Yeah, these should be simply magic, but yeah, don't need it. Yeah, we have a cave down here. My guess is that, yeah, it would be dark if we didn't have the candle, and so yeah, we're visiting it now according to the walkthrough, and also for now I'm looking at the map, but yeah, the map in that walkthrough. Yeah, we have to be careful about these Octoroks. Okay, by doing this, we got some magic up, actually, as we have just seen. So nice. Let me quickly check. Yeah, a magic container, technically called, at least in English. Okay. Now we want to go, yeah, to the desert there, and yeah, okay, that was quickly checking it just to be completely sure. Okay, now I know for where we have to go. Yeah, actually, considering that we most likely visit a village, also a town, whatever you want to call it, also in this episode. Not sure if we'll be able to tackle it fully, but yeah. First we have this cave up here in this desert area. We have some keys. Quite annoying spot for that one. That even worse spot for the Octorok there. Let's actually wait. And be careful here. Yeah, I'd rather take a hit simply by touching it than by a rock, then get pushed into the lava there. Yeah, by doing the... Oh boy, yeah, we have actually a gorilla here, as we can see again. Yeah, we have to be way more careful here, so yeah, let's start again. Perfect. And yeah, with that we get this. Which is... a trophy, which we need for the next part. So yeah, actually I might have skipped a dialogue by doing this, but oh well. As much as of course we want to see them, but yeah. Too bad if that's the case, but oh well. Let's continue. Otherwise we would have had to go to the town first and then come back here, yeah. I want to Okay, actually dropped an experience back there. Okay. Oh boy. Let's actually go back a little here. So that... yeah, you know what? Let's actually ignore them. And let's go to the town. Here it is. Maybe we'll actually have the time for it. And yeah, here we have first and foremost the sign, of course, which says Ruto no Machi. Of course, first and foremost we have Ruto, which is the name. And you might recognize it as it's a name of quite an important character in a later Zelda game. We'll see when the time comes. Yeah, the name comes from here. Let me quickly check a certain something. Okay, no, for now, we should be fine. Yeah, I'll take out, as usual, our dictionary, plus the plugin if needed, not this one. We're studying Japanese, not Chinese. Yeah, after that we have our usual possessive particle no, and so of Ruto. In this case, simply to connect the proper name, the given name, with the common one, which is Machi. And yeah, we have seen it last time. It means town. Also by extension block, neighborhood. So especially with a certain kanji, because something I didn't mention last time is that we have for Machi there are actually two kanji. One which is the one for town, which I've just mentioned. The other one used actually for downtown, the main street of a city. And yeah, that uses the other kanji, but we'll see it when the time comes for those. Yeah, it was worth mentioning it now. And yeah, by its accent is actually on the last syllable. Not heard here, because of course there isn't anything else immediately after. So it sounds like an unaccented word, so yeah. Ruto no Machi. The city of Ruto, so yeah. Sorry, the town of Ruto, better in this case. And yeah, Ruto Town. We have this woman. Well, soon enough she'll come back. Yeah, actually, this one is again the one that says Shiranai wa. We have seen it before. Yeah, this one still konnichiwa. Okay, yeah, these are identical for now. Nice. So we don't have to check them again. Yeah, we have this woman on the other hand. Yeah, actually this one is also another one we've seen before. The one inviting us to approach, as in actually enter the house, as we have seen. Yes, we'll do it, of course. Yeah, because that's his us. So yeah, nice. We check. Yeah, still the Shiranaiwa one. We have this. This one that says Yasunde Oyuki. First and foremost, Yasunde from Yasumu. We check its accent, but it means to rest. actually used also in the expression oyasumi nasai, used when one goes to bed. And yeah, literally, please. It's the honorific form with the honorific prefix o. The continuative form from yasumu, as I mentioned, accented on its own. We change the it's a U verb, code and verb. We change the U into I, make the continuative form, and then add nasai from nasaru. We have seen it before. The honorific form of the verb to do. The usual one is suru. Again, we change the verb into its continuative form, but it's one of those honorific verbs that are an exception. Technically, we drop the ru in and add I, but yeah, actually most likely continuative form u into I, so nasari, then the R dropped most likely, and so only remain nasai. Actually, to add, even though nowadays it isn't added, mase, and so yeah, the imperative form of mas, the auxiliary used for the polite speech. Yeah, so the please, wearing the polite speech, so yeah, we should add a please in when translating it. Please rest. And yeah, so actually used for the good night expression in Japanese. Oyasumi on its own, unaccented, so be careful, despite the verb itself, yasumu, being accented, but yeah, as we have seen, sometimes they can change with the honorific prefix o. But yeah, it was worth mentioning now since it's quite an important expression. Okay, we are fine. But yeah, here we have simply the verb yasumu, so to rest. Actually can be used by extension also as in to be absent, to take a day off from work, from school, but yeah, because the fundamental meaning is actually to rest. Of course, by extension, also to go to bed, and yeah, then we have the oyasumi nasai expression also as mentioned. Here we have the form. It's a verb, code and verb, as already mentioned, so we have to follow the rules. It's in mu, so it becomes de. Again, most likely first the continuative form, so u into I, yasumi. Then the I dropped, so only remained. And that changed the te into de. And also the actually became the on its own, because we only have technically on its own. Even though it in pronunciation with can be also m. It's also worth mentioning that voiced consonants in classical Japanese were actually prenasalized, so de was actually nde, and yeah, so even more because of that we have actually in contemporary Japanese on its own, and then de. The form, in this case, let's say simply in the sense of do that the action of the verb in te, and then end the rest of the sentence. In this case, funny enough, it's oyuki. Oyuki, technically, first we have yuki from yuku, more often than nowadays written, can also be pronounced, even though both pronunciation exist. Iku, to go, unaccented. we change the it's a verb called verb, so we can change the u into i to make the continuative form yuki. In this case we add the honorific prefix o, and yeah, actually, so it's another form of the an honorific form. Most likely I'd say here with an asai implied. Yeah, most likely I'd say that's the case. So yeah, to say again, please rest. We have to move the please before it in English, and go. And yeah, so we have that. So actually, also in this. Yeah, as I suspected, I didn't remember this. But yeah, since the young woman healed our health, this old lady instead says here, Majiku o kaifuku shite ageyo. Mata, well, technically, there's the first sentence ends at ageyo, so let's stop there for now. And yeah, first and foremost, we have Majiku. Yeah, so as you might have heard when I read, and yeah, so of course, it has to do with magic. It's the English term. Notice in Japanese the doubling of the consonant. So yeah, be careful about that. But yeah, otherwise it's identical. Also be careful because I've just seen that the accent is on the G instead of you would have expected it on the ma. So yeah, actually be careful. Majiku. I wonder if it's actually not from English, but from French, considering that. Notice that reminder that G, often pronounced as such nowadays, but could also be G. There's this free alternation between the pronunciations nowadays. Originally, the G written with the she with the duck 10, the voicing, was G. The one for chi instead was G, as you might expect, but yeah, then they actually combined, so yeah, simply. But yeah, I mentioned that maybe from French because of that, because there, of course, it's I don't know if it's also in English the term which is Obre Magique. Those I actually don't remember it. I think there is a specific English term that I'm currently forgetting. But yeah, if you remember, if you know about those, not necessary trees, but that's the classic one that you hang, used to hang in your car, and to make it smell better. And yeah, so the French term Obre Magique, magic tree reversed. Yeah, magique. Notice that the accent in French would be on the G better for them, of course. And yeah, so that's why I wonder if that's the case. Unfortunately, can't confirm it. Actually, I might. Let me quickly check. got the physical dictionary, actually dictionaries to both of them, to quickly check these. As I think, I don't remember if it's also in the physical version, there's technically an app for the NHK accent dictionary. And there I am pretty sure that there was such information for at least some of the foreign words. But yeah, let's quickly check. We also... Okay, actually, by the way, according to this dictionary, there are both accents on the ma, actually. The first one that's mentioned here, and the other one on the G. So actually, you can actually pronounce it simply like in English, so on the magic. Maybe it's actually a later pronunciation, but yeah, not surprised that nowadays it would be the most common one. I'll check also in the other dictionary. Let me quickly see. Magic. Okay, I should be here now. And yeah, funny enough, in this case, they are reversed. First, it shows the one on the G, which I think is actually the original one, and then the one on the Ma. But yeah, both exist, so actually, I'd say go for the easier one for in English, so on the Ma. But yeah, either way, we have the magic as mentioned. Then we have the object particle O, written as one, pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. Then we have Kaifuku, a Chinese compound we have seen before. Actually, it was on screen again this time, as it's the one used for recovery. Means recovery should be unaccented, as we have seen last time, I think. Yes, it is like most Chinese compounds. Recovery as in both restoration, rehabilitation, return, improvement, recovery from an illness, and so on. But yeah, recovery, the fundamental meaning. A noun, but again, as is done also here, we can add suru, the verb to do literally, so to do recovery, so to recover, to restore, and so on. But yeah, fundamental term in games, because of course when you recover health last time, here magic, yeah, you see it again and again. But yeah, here we have the verb suru. Actually, it's the form. Unfortunately, again, suru is completely irregular, so we have to remember that it becomes ste. Notice they barely heard, if at all, between unvoiced consonant. Ste, ste. After that, we have ageo from ageru. Literally to raise, but yeah, it's actually a verb of giving. The fundamental one, I'd say. Again, originally, most likely to give from an inferior to a superior. Nowadays, it's more generic. Again, and that's why it meant literally to raise, because physically, most likely the inferior stayed lower than the superior. Or at the very least, figuratively. But yeah, anyway, it's one of the verbs of giving. Here after that, a form of a verb. And so yeah, actually as an auxiliary, with the meaning to do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. And so yeah, do the favor of recovering the magic for you, implied, so do you the favor. But in this case we don't have ageru on its own, well, not in its dictionary form, unaccented, by the way, usually. We have ageyo. It's a verb verb, so we can drop the ru and add yo u. So actually long yo. It's one of the fundamental rules in Japanese. And so actually the volitional form of the verb, we have seen it in its most common usage nowadays, which is let's. But here it's actually in the other usage, which we have, funny enough, seen mostly in the original Zelda, when we played it. I will, as in, more I have the will of doing the action, so I am willing to do this action, and so yeah, I will do it because it's my intention, and so on. But yeah, means that the person wants, I'd like, yeah, I didn't want to use want, and actually also intention, because technically there are other forms more specific for those, but yeah, there's still this kind of meaning. The person is willingly, yeah, this is better, doing the action of the verb. And yeah, so I will, in that sense, literally do the favor of doing recovery, so yeah, to recover the magic, your magic, of course, implied. After that, she says, Mata, Itsudemo oide. First and foremost, we have Mata. I think we have seen it before. It means again. Once more, once again, another time. Some other time. Can also mean also to as well. But yeah, here it's in its fundamental meaning, which is again. Unaccented on its own, Mata. And so yeah, again. Another time, we could also say. Then we have Itsudemo, which is comes from Itsu on its own, means when. By adding demo, which is on its own a particle which means even. Most likely the day in that case is actually the form of the copula. And then we had mo, which on its own means also even. But yeah, this is how can I say, there's more emphasis. We'll see it especially with these combinations. When you combine, you can combine interrogative pronouns like itsu in our case, when, with mo, to make any, the corresponding any word, so in that case any time. For itsumo, actually used usually in the affirmative, with other interrogative plus mo combinations often in the negative, so not, for example, not anyone, there isn't anyone, it's daremo inai. When we add demo, on the other hand, it means well, technically it's the word which means the combination of the interrogative plus ever. So in our case would be whenever. Whenever, in the sense, anytime, at any time. By extension, simply as in always, but more in as in at all times. And yeah, as we can see here, again, at all times, whenever. We can keep it actually just like it would technically be closer to Japanese. Last but not least, we have this oide, which is actually you might recognize the O at the start, as we have seen it before. Again, it's the honorific prefix, and actually that ide is a continuative form of a verb. A verb that, unfortunately, though, it isn't used in this like this anymore in contemporary Japanese, because its form, its contemporary form is deru. We have seen deru as which means to leave, to exit, accented. To come out, to get out, and so on. Technically, deru comes from this ideru. Technically, still exists as an honorific, even though usually used, as we can see, like in this case, oide, in this form. Not usually ideru on its own. Unfortunately, you can see the can find the accent of it quickly. Not surprising considering what I've just mentioned about its usage, but I'll quickly check on the physical dictionary just to be completely sure. But yeah, just like deru, in the meantime, I can mention it's a ru verb, it's a verb. So to make the continuative form, we simply drop the ru. So, de for deru, for ideru, ide, and so yeah, with the honorific prefix o. And so yeah, again, we have a form, most likely an implied nasai. And so yeah, exactly the same structure we have seen before for that oyuki. And yeah, so an honorific form to say please. Well, technically, as I mentioned, nowadays deru, to leave, to exit, ideru, more to go, to come, either, generic. And yeah, oide means technically on its own would be coming, going. Also says the dictionary being somewhere, unaccented on its own, so be careful. As we have seen again with some words with this honorific prefix o. But yes, the second meaning is please, implied, come, go, stay, and yeah, because it's actually an abbreviation of oide nasai. As mentioned, so yeah, I was correct. Yeah, let me quickly check, I haven't seen it yet. Ideru. Yeah, no, I can find it in the dictionary, but I'm not surprised. Okay. Yeah, so this would heal our magic. It was already full, so yeah, don't see anything. Yeah, again, the konnichiwa woman. We have that, which I guess would be the exit. We actually have these also, but I'd say we can check it after our usual break. So yeah, we'll start with what this man says, a generic one that was passing by, as we'll see, and it makes sense that says this. But yeah, then we'll check this other entrance here, and then we'll continue to the left. Yeah, we'll do that after our usual break, around 5 minutes, so see you then. Not this. And we are back. Yes, so we can continue. First and foremost with what this man says. Quite a short sentence, makes sense considering its meaning. He says, Ciotto, Isogunde na abbaiò. Technically the abbaiò is on its own after the first part, but we'll see why in a second. First and foremost, we have Chotto. This one we have seen before, even in this very series. It means a little, a bit, slight. It's another one of those adverbs with to at the end, double consonant to usually. Most likely again, simply the to, the quotation particle plus before it, what I suppose it was an onomatopoeia originally. So yeah, in this case, literally with a cho sound, with a cho sound. By the way, the small tsu, if we don't add anything else after it, it's actually an abrupt end to what's to the vowel, so cho, really short cho. But yeah, actually becomes the doubling of the consonant with the to after it. Means a little, a bit, and so as we've seen also, as in for a moment, briefly. In this case, I'd say more a little, simply, as we see. Then we have isogu, a verb which means to hurry, to rush, to hasten. But yeah, hurry, the fundamental meaning. I think accented, but I could be, yes, accented actually. After it, we have this de, na. To be completely honest, I haven't seen this strictly, this form strictly. But first and foremost, I suppose that the is simply again the no. We have seen it before, the nominalizer for verbs. Fact, we could also say. The fact of doing the action of the verb coming before it. Here shortened into but yeah, it's the same. The de is suspiciously with that before it could be a form of the copula. Technically, the form in contemporary Japanese, standard Japanese I should say in this case, because I suspect that I haven't seen this form before, because it might be a dialectal one. We'll check. Or maybe, yeah, it's dialect from a dialect using the de like that. And then attaching immediately the copula na. But yeah, again, simply now, most likely it's the nde is another form of the no da. We've seen it before, structure. No, the nominalizer plus the copula da. It is that, literally, also as in the explanation is that, the fact is that, and so on. And so yeah, here, as in, because he's explaining that he's hurrying a little. And yeah, after that we have this na. Unfortunately, a final sentence particle we've seen a lot. But unfortunately, isn't particularly clear. Okay. Because technically it has the usages of both ne, right, isn't it, and so on. Usually that more in Kansai dialect, but as we have seen, unfortunately, especially in the previous Zelda, Kansai dialect can show up in these games. other usages are more similar to yo, as in, for example, to get someone's attention, hey, and also as in, you know. There's also the usage of na, often lengthened in that case, although I'm not sure if necessarily. In that case, it's more like a wow to express admiration, emotionality. In this case, considering the context, I'd say that it's the usage either here I'd say more like a hey or listen, as in not getting someone's attention in this case, but more like pressing one's point. So yeah, simply because he wants to hey, I'm in a hurry here. We would say in English, literally, I'm the fact is that the explanation is that I'm hurrying a little. And last but not least, he says this abayo. You might have heard it in anime or video games. It's a colloquial way to say bye, accented actually on the first syllable, on the a. I want to quickly check on Wiktionary. Okay, yeah. It's let me quickly. Okay, hop. Okay, yeah. It's abayo is actually a contraction of the expression for goodbye, saraba yo. Saraba is the one that means actually farewell, even though technically it uses a different kanji. Most likely it comes from saru, which means to leave. Yeah, to leave, to go away, accented. And then we had ba. In this case, let's say, actually, you might think, isn't ba the one used for the conditional? Yeah, technically it is, and in this case, I'd say it would make sense, considering that the conditional in classical Japanese actually used the not yet, the irrealis form, the not yet state form, as I also call it, based on its the Japanese term. So on the I for verb, godam verb, as we now call them, they have a different. They were yodam verbs, so with 4 dan. 4 vowels in classical Japanese. It's worth mentioning that the ba was actually used also as a form, I think, to remember, similar to wa. But yeah, either way, it's something along those the lines. If I leave, or simply putting emphasis on the leaving. And then simply adding the final sentence particle yo, as mentioned again. Hey, or you know. Yeah, you see it in games. And yeah, actually, it's a colloquial greeting. Yeah, you use it when you say bye. But yeah, let's we can close this one then. Let's check. Yeah, I actually wanted to mention a little something that I forgot. Here, we go back into the this old lady's house. About Oide and Ideru. You might remember that I mentioned when we studied the kanji for spring, of course, in Kirby's Adventure, because it's in the title there, the story of the Fountain of Dreams. It's Japanese. Yume no Izumi no Monogatari, you have seen us then. But yeah, I wanted to mention that the Izu in Izumi, spring, and I think I explained that when we studied it. It comes from this Izu, is actually the original form of Ideru, then becomes also Ide because of further conjugation. So was actually written as I-zu, Zu with the Tsu with the Dakten, with the voicing. Nowadays written simply as Su with the Dakten in Izumi. And then Mi, which is a shorter form for Mizu, water. And so yeah, literally water that comes out in that case. But yeah, simply as a reminder, we have actually seen it then, that Ideru. Yeah. Now we can go back here. I wanted, before entering the house, to see if this... this is the usual one. I wanted to check what the old lady passings say. Yeah, this is the man again. With the Soto Isokunde na. Oh yeah, okay, the old lady is simply the hi konnichiwa we have seen last time. Yeah, let's enter this house first. And yeah, actually we get this. This is pretty infamous. This man says, Ore no nawa erada, and then the suspension dots. Yeah, first and foremost, we have Ore, which we haven't seen before, actually, I think. It's... wait a second. Okay, now we are fine. It's another pronoun, first person singular, so I. This one is a male term or language, and it's actually also rough or arrogant. So yeah, be careful when you'll hear it used in anime, video games also. But yeah, be careful if you, when using it in real life, because yeah, it has those connotations. By the way, it's unaccented, ore. But yeah, so we have then no, the possessive particle, so of me, and so my. After that we have na. We have seen it before, actually I mentioned it at the start of this very series, because we have, well, actually last time when we actually started the game, because it's in namae. But yeah, this is the shorter form without the additional mae, but the meaning is the same. Na should be an accent on its own, we check again. Means name in general. More strictly given name. But yeah, here we can say simply name, my name. Then we have wa written as ha. And so yeah, the usual topic particle. So as for my name. Then we have era, which comes from English error. And yeah, it's this along with another characters is infamous, especially the latter one, because of how they kept it actually in the English version. But yeah, this is error. Notice how the we have of course, r, the Japanese one, of course, in here, but yeah, r, and then a, long a, because of course Japanese doesn't have the sounds error, error, and so yeah, it becomes the closest vowel, which is a, and also with long. Notice similar to how we have such longer vowels in English dialects that don't have those the R sounds. Typically like car, which becomes car, with actually a longer vowel in British English received pronunciation. Yeah, so we have simply error. And I think actually the accent should be on, yeah, it's on the E, so on the first syllable, just like in English. Last but not least, we have the copula, da. In plain speech, da is the plain form of the copula. And yeah, so simply, as for my name, it's error. And then the suspension dots, and yeah, we'll see what the other name of that other character is, and yeah, it's related to that. Okay, yeah, so here we have the house of error. Yeah, we'll go to the next screen. Yeah, we have another part of the town, as we have seen also before, last time. We have this woman that has just left the house. And yeah, actually this is the woman that mentions the statue we've found. And so actually maybe she had a different... I suppose she has a different dialogue if you don't get it. But yeah, if we did it in the other order, we would have got the dialogue, would have been nice, but of course we would have had to come to the town, then leave and get it, and then come back. But yeah, oh well. Let's check this one. First and foremost, she says ma, with the two a, so actually a longer a in pronunciation. It's an exclamation. Actually can be used with other meanings by anyone. But you'll often hear it, like in this case, used as a female term or language. And it's like a oh dear, oh my, wow, and so on. Yeah, here it says also goodness gracious, good heavens. I'd keep in mind especially oh my, as it might help remembering that it's ma, oh my. Yeah, it can help as to remember it. By the way, should be accented. Yeah, it's accented, so on the first syllable. on the first more, I should say, so on the ma, in this case again. After that, she says, Megami zo dawa. Yeah, it should stop there then. First, we have Megami, which means goddess. Literally, it's female god. Technically, the term for male god exists, which is Ogami. We replace the me with O, and yeah, it makes sense since those are some of the prefixes that technically are other ways to make it for female and male. And by the way, these are strictly Japanese readings. Of course, there are also the Chinese ones. But yeah, both are accent on the first syllable, so on the Megami, Ogami. But yeah, I can tell you that I've actually never heard the letter in practice, because usually it isn't specified. We use more often the term kami on its own, accented also on the first syllable, on the ka, for god, deity, divinity, spirit. Kami, it's also kept as is because it's the specific kinds of gods in Japanese religion, folklore, and so on. Here, notice that it becomes ga-mi instead of ka-mi. But yeah, that's because it's technically considered as a compound, as we have seen. Those, especially those with strictly Japanese words as the second part of the compound, the consonant gets voiced if it can be voiced, like in this case. So we had the duck 10. But yeah, more often you'll hear kami in general. God or gods also. You can technically actually make the plural of kami. In this case, usually by doubling it, we can make it, as we actually see in a future Zelda games, but I mentioned it already. Kamigami. The accent there is on the mi because of the doubling. Yeah, it's a compound, and yeah, actually accent on the last syllable of the first part. Typical spot for such accents of such compounds. Compounds in this case, don't confuse them with those that I call Chinese compounds, which usually are simply the Chinese terms of two kanji. But yeah, here are straight up compounds. Yeah, we have two individual parts that get combined, and also longer ones, technically, as you have seen. But yeah, we'll see Kamigami, I'm pretty sure, in the name of a certain future Zelda game. So, hope can get. Okay. But yeah, as I mentioned, usually Kami, and when you want to specify that it's a goddess, then you add the prefix Megami. And get Megami. And yeah, so we have goddess, then we have Zo, which means statue. Yeah, now we get the statue part. Accented on its own, technically means image, figure, also statue, picture, portrait. So yeah, actually more generic, but often, as we'll see, when used as a suffix, then often is as in a statue, goddess statue in our case. Can also be figure, form, shape, or appearance as a suffix again. I'll quickly check. I doubt I'll find Megami Zo on the dictionary, so actually I'll straight up check the physical one for the suffix Zo, potentially. Hopefully. And yeah, I've actually found it. Okay, it's one of those that's simply accented on the syllable before the Zo itself. So in our case would be Megami Zo. So low instead of the usual high. Megami on its own would be high, low, low, because the accent is on the me, and so the syllables after the accent are low. Yeah, in this case would be low, high, high, and then low, low. So yeah, the accent is on the mi, and Zo is low. But yeah, so got the statue. Then we have Da again, the copula. Last but not least, we have Wa, a final sentence particle we've already seen in this very series, because it's a female term or language. Hope we can find that. Indicates emotion, generic, or admiration. Yeah, it's a female term or language. Can also indicate emphasis, but yeah, that's in Kansai dialect. Usually you'll find it used by women, like this one, and like the other ones we have seen in this game. And yeah, so simply she says, with emotion, we could say, because of the wa, it's the, we have to add the article in English, the goddess statue. And then she says, Oji-san ni atte ite. Actually, I think this is identical to what the other woman said in the previous town, but we'll check it out again. First and foremost, we have Oji-san. We have seen its grandfather. 3 usages. Someone else's grandfather. And yeah, that's why we have technically the honorific prefix and also the san at the end. By extension, an old man, which we don't... actually, I think I've seen it also as a title, as a kind of title, in a way, after a name, but yeah, often used when talking about an old man without specifying his name. And last but not least, actually used also when it's your own grandfather, but when not when speaking about him usually, as in simply my grandfather. It's as in a familiar term. And yeah, as we have seen actually last time, I'm pretty sure, with the other woman, we can have changes in that case, like Ji-chan, grandpa, more. But yeah, here we have actually Oji-san, without changes. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned it, but yeah, you have heard it. Yeah, the accent should be on the G. And yeah, Oji-san, Oji-san. Quite important, this I haven't mentioned before for sure. The long vowel Oji-san. because actually if you make it short, it changes the meaning, and we get Oji-san, which is actually uncle. So be careful, uncle, and again all the other in the 3 usages mentioned, and so also simply as an old man, usually old man, not as old as an Oji-san, of course, but more like a middle-aged man. For example, one where I've straight up heard it in Detective Conan, Case Closed, also known as in English, when Conan refers to Goro, also in other adaptations, and yeah, of course, he speaks about him as were more often used when he calls him or Oji-san. And yeah, so be careful. Vowel length matters in Japanese because yeah, it can change the meaning. By the way, it also helps the accent in this case, because actually Oji-san, shorter, which means uncle, is unaccented. So yeah, there's also that difference if you use the accent, and that's why I insist on it, and I also check it, because unfortunately nobody usually mentions it, and even when I studied Japanese on my own, not even at the university or private schools. But yeah, here we have grandfather, maybe simply old man, but yeah, since he's actually in the same house, I'd say, as in this woman's grandfather. Then we have ni, the particle, again in this case used as in with. It's required by the verb, the following verb, which is atte, au, to meet. And yeah, it requires the particle ni in Japanese, so you simply unfortunately have to remember it. Au is a verb code verb, so we have to follow the rules to make the form. It becomes double consonant te. Again, because actually originally it was the verbs in u were in pu, then the p fell and became u. So first it most likely became a continuity form, change the u into i, a, p, te, then the i fell, up te, difficult to pronounce, so became double consonant te instead. The form in this case requires simply to make the fundamental meaning, do the action of the verb and, or could be by doing the action of the verb in te. And then we have itte, which is another te form. This one from iku, the verb to go, as mentioned. Unfortunately, it has it's an exception when it comes to the te form specifically. It becomes itte. Again, most likely because it first changed into the continuity form, like all verbs in ku, the u verb code verbs in ku, u into i, iki, te. But while the other ones, most likely the k dropped and so became i, te, the te form. For this one, most likely the i fell, and so ik, te, difficult to pronounce, double consonant te instead. Or at least that's most likely what happened. And yeah, the form in this case required, notice that it's at the end of the sentence, and yeah, it's actually an abbreviation of the te kudasai form. kudasai from kudasaru. It's another verb of giving, this one honorific, a superior giving to an inferior. The opposite, as we have seen, uses the kanji for low, bottom. Again, after that, the form of another verb becomes do the favor of doing the action of the verb in te. And then kudasaru, verb godan verb, but it's one of those honorific ones which become I instead, from most likely kudasari, but then the R fell, and then kudasai. And then implied, again as usual, masse, imperative form of mas. So yeah, the please go. Yeah, so the full translation is please. Actually, in this case, the first form, since we have a verb of movement, a directional verb, iku in our case could be also kuru, to come. Most likely it actually uses the we use the te form for the main verb, and then we add one of these verbs of movement to show the direction in which this action happens. And so, because of course Link goes from here to meet the grandfather, the grandpa. And yeah, so the translation is please go. We could say go meet, even though it's not strictly like that. Actually, in Japanese, as we see, there's another form for actually go do an action. But yeah, we can translate it like this for now. Go meet with my, I'd say in this case, grandfather. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, let's enter again. Okay, the woman actually isn't here for now. Weird. Last time she was, but yeah. Yeah, the grandfather is again another magician. Yeah, so we actually got a spell. Yeah, I actually had to take because it then moves. You might have barely seen it there. But yeah, says here, Jampu appu no mahou o oboete yuku ga yoi. First and foremost, we have Jampu appu. So yeah, of course, from English, Jampu, jump. Should be that one we have seen before for sure, and was accented like in English, but I still check to be completely sure. Hope we don't have issues with that. Yeah, accent on the first syllable, just like in English. Then appu, of course, up from English. Notice the doubling of the consonant, though in Japanese. Accented just like in English, appu on the a. Literally would be up, can be used for rise, increase, raising, lifting, going up, as it says here. But yeah, of course, all those meanings related to its original meaning, the original word up. And yeah, here in well, we could translate it as a jump increase also in this case, but yeah, literally we can keep it as jump up. It's clear. By the way, it can also be an abbreviation, of course, of, for example, upload, technically. The full word would be appurodo. By the way, accented on ro, on the load, so actually just like in English, upload. road on its own, accent on the ro. So yeah, nothing strange, but yeah. After that, we have the possessive particle no, as usual. To connect it, in this case, simply we have the actual, the given name of something, and then we have the generic name. In our case, Maho, again. Magic, as we have seen, in this case, better as in more like a spell, a specific spell. Magic, better, closer to the... it's a Chinese compound, so yeah, it's an accent like most of those. Witchcraft is actually the closest translation. Yeah, in our case, a spell, as it's the jump up spell. Then we have the object particle O. Then we have oboete. I don't remember if we have actually seen it last time. But yeah, oboeru, from the verb oboeru, accent, so yeah, oboeru. It means technically the first and foremost to memorize, to commit to memory, to learn by heart, to bear in mind, to remember. So yeah, it's say to memorize. Can also be to remember, but be careful about that because there are other verbs with the meaning to remember and closer to it technically. By extension, a generic to learn, to pick up, to acquire, as in those senses, as in to learn. Other extended meanings, but let's focus on these. Yeah, in our case, it's technically could work as to memorize the jump up spell, but yeah, more better as a translation. Learn the jump up spell. We have it's a ru verb, it's then verb, so to make the form, like in this case, we simply drop the ru and add te. And yeah, in this case, it's for sure simply, again, well, once more, we have technically the form of a verb and then the verb yuku, iku, so to go. So yeah, could be, again, do the action of the verb, but yeah, in this case, not simply, let's say, do the action of the verb and then, because it's actually a sequence, and then go. But yeah, we don't have just yuku, but then we have ga yoi, and yeah, hope we didn't have issues there. Okay. Ga is technically the subject particle. As we'll see eventually in classical Japanese, it was actually used also as the like the possessive particle no. But yeah, in this case, it's a simply subject particle. Although it's a classical usage anyway, notice that we attach the verb directly to it. Usually that isn't the case, also to avoid confusing it with the ga, as in the conjunction. And last but not least, we have yoi, the other form of e. Nowadays, e on its own is the most used one. Yoi comes up usually in when conjugating e. Yeah, the meaning doesn't change. It's good, fine, and so on. But yeah, good, it's the fundamental meaning. And so literally would be to go is good. And so, yeah, actually, as I mentioned, most likely simply as in you should go. And yeah, so the full translation is you should, we have, of course, to put it at the start in English, you should memorize, better learn in this context, the jump up spell and go. And yeah, so simply that. So he's teaching us the jump up spell, and then yeah, we'll go. And yeah, as you can see here, we have jump. And yeah, with that, I actually not sure how. I have to check out how you actually use those spells for next time, because we'll actually need it. While the shield one was optional, this one we do need. Yeah, so we have. Okay, yeah. This man has something else to say, and it's actually a tip, so we'll check it out. First and foremost, well, he says, Oshiro no minami no dokutsu ni majiku no utsuwa ga aru zo. And yeah, actually, funny enough, it's a tip we've already used, thanks to the map, the guide, in the guide. But yeah, he says, first and foremost, we have Oshiro. We have again the honorific prefix O. And then we have Shiro, which means castle. And yeah, since he's referring to a castle, you might see where we are going with this. Unfortunately, I'll check also in the dictionary if I can find the accent for Oshiro with the honorific prefix. But yeah, Shiro on its own, I think it's an accent. Yes, it is. Yeah, it means castle. Let's quickly check if I can find it. And yeah, by the way, of course, here we simply add the honorific prefix because, of course, it's the castle where Zelda is. Yeah. So quite important. Oshiro. Nope. Although considering that the word is already unaccented, should be still unaccented, hopefully. After that we have the possessive particle, no. Here actually used to connect it to a direction, which we have seen last time, Minami, and also funny enough is also in the previous Legend of Zelda. And these are unaccented, Minami should be all unaccented, we have seen most of them last time. I think Higashi is the only one east that we haven't seen. I'll quickly check it just to be completely sure. Yes, also unaccented, so yeah. Minami, south. Higashi, east. Nishi, west. Kita, north. But yeah. Then we have again the possessive particle, no. Then we have the word dokutsu. We have seen it in this series. It means cave. You might have heard it in the original Japanese name of the game Cave Story, Dokutsu Monogatari comes, literally Cave Story. It's a Chinese compound that I think we have seen last time, but we still check. Unaccented. Yes, unaccented. Then we have the particle ni. In this case, the locative particle in, at, used with verbs of existent, locative verbs. Otherwise, we would use they with all the other verbs to say allocation in, at. After that, we have magiku, magic again. Then we have the possessive particle once more, no. Then we have the noun utsuwa. We have seen it for another kind of item of this kind. It means container. Unaccented. Sorry. Yeah, also other meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one. Container, vessel. And yeah, in our case, so a magic container. Yeah, we have seen it with the hard container last time, of course. Then we have the subject particle ga. And yeah, now we have our verb of existence, aru, a typical one, to be as in to exist, of inanimate objects. And so, yeah, in our case, like a literal object, a magic container. Also abstract things. For animate things, and so people and animals, we use iru, unaccented. Can also use oru, but that's the humble form. Iru is the more common one. Yeah, we've seen both during our Pokemon Snap series. But yeah, here we have Aru. To be as in to exist, and so actually in translation can be used as there is, there are. Last but not least, the final sentence particle so adds force or command, a male term or language. So yeah, it's a man here that we are speaking to, so yeah, makes sense. Again, I'd say also kind force simply in the sense of emphasis. Yeah, we've seen it used often by Oak, more like that. But yeah, so the full translation is there is a magic container at the cave, literally in Japanese, off, south of the castle. Yeah, so actually simply to connect all that, and so yeah, in English better, at the cave, south of the castle. And yeah, so it's the one we have already got. Yeah, we can let that man leave. This one we have, the lady we have already checked. Didn't check what it was still. Ah no, it's the Isogu person. Let's enter this house. We have an old lady. Okay, she says this. Shinden no kagi wa kanarazu sono shinden de otsukai nasai. First and foremost, we have shinden, the term which I mentioned for temple, shrine, sanctuary. The palaces in this game, in English. Unaccented, it's a Chinese compound, luckily. Then we have kagi, which means can mean either key or actually also lock, but yeah, often simply key. Especially in these games, where we literally find the keys around, accent on the last syllable. So yeah, actually we can hear it in this case, ka, i, wa. So low, high, low. Then wa, as mentioned, the topic particle. As for the keys of temples, shrines, sanctuaries, palaces, then we have kanarazu, which is an adverb, unaccented, means always, better, without exception, without fail, because literally it comes from that for sure. It's technically a non I don't know that's exactly the origin, but clearly that Ra is it comes from a non an irrealis, not yet state form of a verb, and then we had Zu, which is a classical form of the negative in Japanese. It can still be used in modern Japanese in some expressions, and I'm not just meaning fixed expressions like this one, but yeah. So yeah, that's why we have this without exception, without fail, the closest translation, but yeah. Of course, then also we can say necessarily, certainly, even better in this case, without fail and so on. Then we have Sono, one of the Kosovo series, close to both the speaker and the listener, so far from the speaker, close to the listener, far from both, do, the interrogative, koso, a, usually an accented, do, accent on the first syllable, so on the do itself. With no, we have the demonstrative adjective, and yeah, so then after it we have Shinden again, that palace, that temple, and so on. Then we have the, and so yeah, now we have the in, at, with other verbs. Other verbs, which in our case is otsukai nasai from tsukau. An accent should be on its own, we have seen it before, it means to use. And yeah, again, we see the structure, we make the continuative form by changing the u into i, it's a verb, colon verb. We add the honorific prefix at the start, o, tsukai, and then nasai. And so yeah, again, please use. The translation is please use. Sorry, first let's start with the topic. As for the keys of palaces, of temples, please use, imply them, at those we should say if we keep it as in the plural. Those palaces without fail, without exception. Yeah, so actually, unlike the first game, you have, I think the keys are specific to each temple in this case. So yeah, better honestly in a sense. Okay, now we have this woman. Let's quickly see. Okay, she says this, which is what we actually will do next, actually next time. Yeah, she says, Rosoku ga nakereba, machi kara minami wa, totemo kiken yo. First and foremost, we have Rosoku, as I mentioned, candle in Japanese. Should be accent on the so. We have seen it as an exception, despite being a Chinese compound. Yeah, it's accent on the so. Go so cool, so be careful. Then we have the subject particle ga. Then we have this nakereba, which comes from nai, the adjective which means non-existent. Then we make this form kereba. This kere, actually, most likely the origin was first we made the adverbial form by dropping the e and then adding ku. Then we add actually areba, so aru. Again, the verb which I've seen to be as in to exist. Aru is a verb called adverb, so we can change the u into e. To then add ba, and so make one of the forms of the conditional. And so yeah, actually then it got contracted and became na ku areba na ke reba. And so yeah, this is the form of the reba form for the ba conditional for adjectives, e adjectives. And yeah, conditional or also temporal as usual, if, when, just like in English. This one is the closest one to the first conditional, even though of course there are differences. In this case I'd say if. Could say also when, but yeah, I'd say if. There isn't literally the candle, most likely implied that for you as a, so if you don't have these verbs in this structure, can be used to say to have, literally. As for the someone, the one marked with the topic particle here absent, because it's implied, something subject particle ga exists, and yeah, so that person, the someone, has something. And yeah, in this case, if you don't have the candle, then we have machi kara, okay, machi, town, kara, from. Then we have minami, once more, south. Then we have the topic particle wa. And so, as for the south, from the city. Then we have totemo, an adverb which means very. Other similar meanings can also be used in the negative, not at all. Should be an accent on its own. Yes, it is. Can be also doubled the consonant totemo to make it more emphatic, but yeah, the meaning is still the same. And then we have kiken, which, funny enough, we've mentioned when we studied the ken. For the title of this very game, kiken, unaccented, is a Chinese compound, luckily unaccented as usual. He barely heard it at all because it's between a voice consonant, means also the name danger, peril, hazard, risk. But yeah, also used as an adjective, and an adjective would be, and so dangerous, and so on. And yeah, like in this case, technically we should add the copula here, but it can be implied like it is in this case. And yeah, last but not least, yo, as in hey, or you know. So yeah, she's warning us about if you don't have the candle. As for the south from the city, it's very dangerous. Okay, but luckily we do have the candle. So yeah, actually you really should get it before doing that. let's check out what is. Yeah, this is the usual old lady. Hi, konnichiwa. We have the sign. Actually, we can't check it anymore, but yeah. So we can, by going here, we leave the town, Ruto Town. And yeah, so we'll actually save. Okay. Close the game. And yeah, so today we continued playing after leaving Ruto Town. Well, we left last time, but we started there. We went through the tunnel while it was still dark, but we had to get to the other side. We got the heart container mentioned in a hint. We tackled the first palace, temple, and so on, however you want to call it, based on the English name or the Japanese name. After that, we got also the candle there. We completed it. We got a magic container. We got the goddess statue. And then we got to the town of Ruto. And yeah, we got our jump up spell there. And yeah, so next time we'll start from the town of Ruto. And yeah, we'll actually, I think, go south. As mentioned because we do have the candle. And yeah, we'll see what happens from there. Next time, which should be on Friday, unless plans change, so as usual. But yeah, see you next time.